Welcome back to Listen Up Podcast at Grace Christian University, where we take deep dives into student lives.
Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Listen Up Podcast for this week. Before we get started, we have some announcements for you. The Disc Golf Club meets weekly on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. in the Ravine. The Blood Drive is on Tuesday at 10:30 from 3 o'clock in the gym. We have a women's home soccer game Tuesday at 4:30. Our See You at the Pole event, which is a student and faculty prayer event, is Wednesday at 7 a.m. at the Commons, and breakfast will be provided. On Wednesday at 12:15, there will be a Wellness Committee information meeting in the Quiet Room. All who want to know more about the Wellness Committee and how they can be involved can come there. The first 15 people get pizza. For more information, contact Malachi Merrill or Maddie O'Neill. The next H3 project event, How to Support Others with Addictions, is coming up on Wednesday at 4:15 in the President's Room. This is a great opportunity to learn how to care for others, such as a friend, family member, coworker, or person you serve in ministry. Free dessert will be provided. Applying Christ Together groups, or ACT groups for short, take place on Thursday mornings starting October 7th. A list of all the ACT groups happening this semester will be emailed along with an online sign-up form for those who can't make it on Thursday. Thursday at 7, Grace Library Services is hosting a Battleship tournament. Winner gets a $75 Chick-fil-A gift card. Runner-up gets a $25 gift card. Coming up next Wednesday is a tailgate party for the volleyball team. Come out for a great time of eating food, playing games, and supporting our student athletes. Also, student government is putting on a Frederick Meyer Garden Hangout. It's happening this Friday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We will have a Grace van going there. If you would like to sign up, you can sign up for the Hangout at the Kahawa. You'll get in free if you sign up there. And there are only 12 spots available for the van, so make sure you sign up early. Also, there is an Artprize Scavenger hunt coming up on September 29th. That's going to be between 6 and 8:30 p.m. For more information, make sure to check out the StudGov Instagram page. And as always, this week is going to be off the heezy. So we have a great guest in our studio today, and I will let him introduce himself. What is your name?
Hello, everyone. My name is Bethel, Lian.
Nice to have you here, Bethel.
Thank you for
And
having me.
what year are you here at Grace?
This is my last semester. I'm actually a senior, and I started attending Grace back in 2017.
Okay, well, so you're almost done with it all.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling excited at the same time. A little bit stressful. It's mainly because you're excited because you can be finally graduated from college. At the same time, you're concerned about your job. Like, will I be able to get a job after when I graduate? So it's like a mix of excitement and stressful.
So you mentioned, you're kind of concerned about finding a job after school. But what's that job you're looking for, and what did you go for school for?
So my ultimate goal is to be a theologian. I want to be a professor. So when I graduate from this this college, I'll be doing my master in biblical exegesis. But at the same time, I also want to work in the fields to have experience. I also want to teach at the same time, so that I think I will grow more if I do that. Yeah.
And what gave you that interest in teaching?
I feel like I'm responsible, or maybe I think this is my calling from God, to teach the right interpretation of Bible to other, because we live in a culture right now where we didn't expose a lot of truth biblical teaching, a lot of prosperity teachings, those kind of stuff. So I want to bring back that core, true biblical teachings to our culture and to the other peoples. Yeah,
That's really good. Our culture really needs that right now.
yeah.
So we're going to go a little bit deeper with you now. So tell us a little bit about who you are, but we'll start with, where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in in between culture. The reason why I said that is, of course, I was born in Burma, Kalemio, and when I was like 11, we moved to Malaysia, and then when I was 12, we came to uh, America. So racially speaking, I will say that I'm Burmese, but culturally, I'm not. I think because most of my childhood was based uh, on this culture. So I will say, racially I'm Burmese, but culturally I'm not. Yeah. So we came to stake in back in 2010. We came to the stake in 2010, and then I started in 8th grade, and then I went to East Kenwood High School, and I finished high school there. And after that, I was thinking about doing HVAC, heating and cooling.
Okay.
So after when I graduated from high school, I went to the summer camp at Ferris State, which is in Big Rapids. And after that, we took an exams, and those who passed the exam, they were being offered a scholarship. And of course, I got offered a scholarship, but because of my lack of GPA, I didn't really met their requirement for the GPA. So that's how I end up going to GRCC after that. But then I kind of lose my hope in heating and cooling, because being an Asian kid with there was a lot of culture gap with my coworkers. So at that point, I was a little bit stressed out, and I kind of give up on heating and cooling, and so I have no purpose, no vision. So I drop out of college.
Okay.
And then and then by the grace of God, God give me a new vision and purpose. Yeah.
Wow. So how did you find out about Grace?
Yes. How do I find out about grace? It's just through online, because when I got saved, when I received my salvation, my parents are Christians, and I always consider myself as a Christian, but I never considered myself as born again Christians. So it was when I graduated from high school, after all the experience that I was talking about, like HVAC, dropping out of GRCC, you know, my life is just revolves around like without hope, without visions. I was stressed out. I don't know what to do in my life. One of my friend, he invited me to go to this summer camp at New York. So it's and then he invited me. I don't really want to go, but since he offered me a lot, he said that I will pay for all your expense.
Wow.
And so we go to the summer camp. It was a Christian summer camp, mostly Asian people, Korean, Chinese, and Japanese. And we went there, and we stayed there for a week. It was a week. It was a big summer camp, and we stayed there for a week. And the pastor that preached, the name of the pastor is Pastor Oksupar. He's a very prominent guy, and he speak on salvations, and and I kind of understand like how salvation work and that kind of stuff. I didn't say I was saved in that camp, but it gave me like like a path to go, give me like an option to choose. And then when I came back, I started watching one of these famous Burmese preacher. He's from my country too. He's from Chinhaka. His name is Tuan Peng Tang. And I started listening his preaching, and then that's how, and then it made me realize like the how we receive salvation through grace by love and those kind of stuff. That's how I received my salvation. And after that, my immediate interest was I want to go and study God words and to be a minister for God. And and then when I choose grace, because sometimes our emotion is so strong, we make decisions because we make decisions like out of emotion sometimes, and at the end we always regret it. So I was like, what if this is just an emotions? So I was like, I'm going to take 1 more year break. I'm going to pray about it, and which I did, and I pray about it the whole summer, like whether am I going to go to Grace or not and do the ministry of God or not. So I prayed about it, and I also fast about it. And then when Grace they contact me, they said they want an admissions essay.
Hmm.
So when I turned in my admission essay, my last prayer to God was, if you call me to do your ministry, if you want me to do your ministry, give me some kind of confirmation, you know.
Mm.
So if you don't want me to do your ministry, just let this Grace Bible College, it was called Bible College back in the day, let this Grace Bible College to deny my admission.
Mm.
But if you call me to do your ministry, let them accept me.
Mm.
So like 2 weeks later, of course, they accept me, you know, they accepted me. And I felt really thankful, and I
Mm.
felt like this is a real definite calling from God, because I asked God to give me a confirmation, and he did give me confirmations, and that's how I ended up at Grace.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
What is at least one thing that God has done in your life at your time at Grace?
One thing God has done in my life, I think, you know, at the Christians, you know, there's like so much expectation once you become born again Christians.
Mm.
You know, being a Christian is not to become perfect in every ways. You know,
Mm.
it's like it being a Christian is like a journey. Sometimes it's like a roller coaster. It's up and down all the time.
Mm.
So what I experienced throughout my 4 year at Grace is freshman year, I was a very spiritually disciplined myself. You know, I will have devotions before in the morning, and also like second session devotion in like during lunch break, those kind of stuff.
Mm.
I maintained that for like over throughout my freshman years. But my second year and third years, I was spiritually disconnected with God.
Mm.
Uh, I think it's because of a lack of time, and like just too much focusing on social media, and that kind of distort my relationship with Christ, and I was spiritually broken, you know,
Mm.
to the point where I think, well, I felt like there's no God, you know.
Mm.
and uh, and I was not inspired to come to class at all. You know, I was, even though when I do my homework, when I write my paper, there's no interest at all. You know, there's no motivation, there's no determinations, and so I end up skipping a lot of my homework. You know, not turning in my assignment on time. But I will say this, even though this is very secret, when I got student probation, that was a big wake up call.
Mm.
You know, it's really shameful, you know, to say that, but uh, at the same time, it was a big eyes opening for me.
Mm.
I was like, when I get that was my first time getting student probations
Mm.
throughout all my college year. So I was really disappointed, to be honest. It's really hurt me.
Mm.
So uh, so when I was in my darkest moment, through because of that student probations, and I started to read Bible back, and you know, God, he bring back lights in my life. And I also write a poetry on that, I think, which I already shared in the chapel. um, so when I get my student probations, I was stressed out, and I started to question myself. All right, this really what I want to do in life?
Mm.
I have a confirmation with God that he called me to do his ministry. I guess, look at this. I got student probation. I disappointed my parents. I disappointed myself. I really need to ask myself a real question. If I don't really want to do this, why not just drop out of Grace right now?
Mm.
And you know, so God was, you know, God was making me known like my calling. Hey, Bethel, this is your calling. Why are you being like this? You know, focus on your vision, focus on your purpose, realize your goal, and pursue your goal. This is your purpose in life. You know, I started envisioning that kind of stuff, and it gave me back the motivation that I have back in freshman year.
Mm.
So and after that, realizing that, with the help of God, I started to like push back myself, and you know, I proved everybody wrong by getting 3.9 GPA. So
Wow.
yeah, I would say that was one of my biggest achievement. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So, over your time of studies, what would you say was a class that really made you, you know, stronger in your faith or helped you grow?
uh, classes that I took.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I think uh, I think it has to be both. In my personal experience, uh, you know, of course, taking theology class with like Pat, Dr. Long, Matt Lawrence, they really help you in terms of with your faith. You know, it's cultivate your faith,
Mm,
and it's also cultivate your experience and how you see the Bible, how you read the Bibles, in terms of like how like interpreting the Bible like biblically and
mm,
theologically. And that help you with your faith, and but at the end it's all the way about what you do outside people. Like
mm,
it's all about staying. It's all about within you. Like staying in your room, studying in your rooms. It's not just about commitment. You have to like sacrifice yourself a lot. You
mm.
know.
Cool. So you mentioned some of the professors here that helped
Mhm.
you grow through their
Yeah.
classes. What are some other like role models or
Mm.
teachers that you look up to
Here at Grace or outside or
outside?
okay. Uh, I, I will mention one of my role model here at Grace too. Is that
Okay.
okay? So, number one, as I mentioned before, Chin Haka is from Chin Haka. He's a preacher and evangelist. His name is Dr. Tuan Peng Tang, and he's one of my role model whom I look up to.
Mm,
And secondly, uh, you guys might know this person, Ravi Zacharias.
mhm,
Yeah, he's the one that inspired me to do apologetic too.
mhm,
When I finished my master in biblical exegesis, Ravi Zachariah is the one that really inspired me the most.
mm,
I started listening his Q&A, and also his preaching and how he dealt with like atheists and like science people. When I listen him, he just really like the way he talk. The way he respond people, and like also like his theology background is just perfect. It's really motivate me a lot.
mm,
So he's, I would say, the main reason why I want to do apologetic too. Especially I think apologetic seems like what we need the most, especially in this country.
mm,
Yeah. And here at Grace, I would say, of course, Dr. Long. Yeah, he's my role model, because every time when I go and talk to him, like I respect all professor here at Grace too, but there's something about Dr. Long. He's really unique. When I talk to him, like I didn't feel nervous or like there's no boundary at all. It's just
mm,
like a friendly talk. We talk together, we laugh. He know a lot about Asian culture, so he will talk about his experience in China with like eating in restaurant. It's just really funny, because when I talk to some professor, like I'm not that close to them,
mm,
but with Dr. Long, oh my goodness, it's really different. Yeah.
mm. That's really awesome. We are blessed to have the professors that we do have here.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you are Burmese, and there has been a lot in the news lately
Hmm.
about things happening in Myanmar.
Yeah.
Um, would you be able to inform your fellow students about what has been happening?
Yes. uh Before I go to that, I want to inform like all the staff and faculty and student here at Grace, because they asked, because I got this question. I got asked this question a lot. It's like the difference between Burma and Myanmar,
Hmm,
and like Burmese, because they will say, "Are you Chin or Burmese or Myanmar or Burma?" uh, Burma is that's a former names. Right
hmm,
now, that's back in the day was known as Burma. Right now, it's called Myanmar now.
hmm,
Uh, so to be honest, like myself and my friends Hungs and Van, who also do who major in worship art, and also like Samuels, uh, technically speaking, we're not Burmese.
hmm.
Burmese is the language that the Burmese people use. You
Okay.
know, Burma is known for Union of Burma, because there's over 138 regional languages.
Oh, wow.
So and the main language that we use is Burmese,
Hmm,
and so right now I'm not Burmese. We may speak in Burmese language, but we're not Burmese.
hmm,
who am I? I am Chin Haka. You guys can also refer to us as, instead of saying Burmese student at Grace, you guys can say Myanmar student. 'Cause when you say Burmese, you're referring to the actual Burmese people. So you can say like, we have Myanmar student at Grace, So even though we speak Burmese, we're not actually Burmese. We are Myanmar, or I'm Chin Haka, Yeah. So what's happening in Burma, as I mentioned before, in I think last year, the military, they took over the country without any support evidence, So after the election, they kind of took over like everything, So right now, our country is not doing really good. We have been oppressed by the military almost every day. There's a lot of protest crackdowns going on in Burma right now, especially one of my hometown, which is Tantlang. It was being bombed by the Burmese military, and one of a very well-known pastor was being shot, and at the same time he have a ring on his hand. So they're trying to get the ring, but they can't get it out, so they cut his finger off. And it was really sad when you think about it. So I also want to, like, at the same time, request prayer. Please pray for our country, Burma, because right now, Burma, we experience one of the darkest moments in history. Many people have died because of that military crackdown. The military coups. At this point, it's hard to say that there will be peace sooner or later. I cannot guarantee you that, but what I can guarantee you that this is just the beginning for the people of Burma. Things gonna get worse day by day. Yeah. So please pray for us, for our country. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. So Bethel, right now I'm going to ask you if you'd like to send a message of encouragement to the students here from Myanmar and those abroad who may be listening in.
Okay. To my fellow brother and sister and family members who are in Burma, I know this is a really sad moment to live in Burma with all the oppression that we face due to this Temado military. I just want to let you guys know that we are praying for you guys all the time, and I also want you guys to know that God is in control of everything. One day we will see a bright sunlight soon. So just be strong and have faith in God. And also, student here at Grace, as I just mentioned, help us pray for our country, for the people of Burma. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Time for a truth bomb.
One advice that I want to give to all the Grace students is know that life is really short. Therefore, time is so essential. Because of that, love one another, embrace one another, and support one another. The reason I said to love one another is, at my workplace, I have a coworker. One of my coworker, we just talked to each other on Monday after work. We were best buddy, and I told him I'll see you tomorrow. And then when I come back to work tomorrow, I was looking for him, and then the other coworker, he let me know that he just passed away at 14 Miles Road. He got into a car accident, hit the tree, and he died.
Wow.
Also, his girlfriend also died at the scenes. So it really traumatized me. That's when, because of that experience, God made me realize that our time is really short, and time is really essential. And when we, within that short time, I think we should love each other, and we should embrace each other. Yeah.
I agree. That's very powerful. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on the Listen Up podcast. And as always, listen up. Thank you for listening. If you would like to be a part of our live audience, recordings take place Mondays at 1:30 p.m. in the Quiet Room. If you would like to be a guest on our show, send us an email at gwright@gracechristian.edu. See you next week on the Listen Up podcast.